ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God had prepared them that love him. Turn to somebody and tell them, don't confuse my right now with my later on. Have you seen? The city of Corinth was the capital of Asia. Located at the southern tip of Greece, it appeared almost like an island lying on a narrow strip of land only about 4 or 5 miles across. Corinth had a large population of real mixture of Greeks and Latins and Jews and Egyptians. A lot of things were going on down in Corinth. Corinth was morally corrupt. Material prosperity and traveling tradesmen made for a spirit of partying and drunkenness and all sorts of immoral living. City's very name, Corinth, came a byword for evil and immoral living. Even the worship of the local residents centered around the great goddess of love, Aphrodite. When Paul first comes to Corinth, he, according to the scriptures, enters in weakness and in fear. With much trembling, he is apparently discouraged. He had faced severe opposition in his 3 prior ministries. The Judaizers had run him out of Philippi, Thessalonica, and Berea. Even in Athens, he had experienced very little success, and now facing Corinth, he is confronted with a hodgepodge of every sort. He's confronted with a city of diverse population, confronted with a city of people that are grumbling and complaining and struggling one against another, struggling with competitive positions and in contention. The people in Corinth were having all sorts of problems, and it seems like disaster. I only got about 12 minutes, so y'all got to go. Disaster is about to strike, and Paul comes to the front to deal with the problems. The first problem that Paul had to deal with was about the resurrection. He had problems understanding this resurrection. He had problems understanding how one could be dead. The diastolic and systolic beat of one's heart having come to a stop, and then to say that he got up again on the 3rd day. The Grecian logic, the Greek mentality would not allow them to grasp the idea that one could be dead and 3 days later get up. But I heard Paul say unto them, if Christ be not risen, did I come to the right place? Then our preaching is in vain. There was a second problem in this Corinthian church. There were those there who ate the meat that had been offered to idol gods. This practice was causing the weaker Christians to stumble and fall by the wayside. Paul heard this news and he said to them in essence, what's wrong with you? If you eat this meat, you're not going to be no better. And if you don't eat it, you're not going to be any worse. But if eating this meat offends your brother, then don't you eat it any longer. And that was a third problem at this Corinthian church. There was what we call the party spirit. Because there were a lot of little groups and little cliques. I know y'all don't have that. A lot of groups and little cliques running around in Corinth. Paul heard this news and he said to them, is Christ divided? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? He said, I thank God I didn't baptize none of y'all. This is what happens. I plant another waters, but only God can give the increase. Shout yeah, yeah. Clap your hands and say yes, Lord. Paul says that before we could ever get to what your eye haven't seen and what your ear haven't heard, we got to deal with these divisions. We got to deal with this being divided. We got to get everybody on one accord. Y'all not talking to me. Hallelujah. He said before you blessings and the miracles of God, we got to get together. So it is. Y'all sit down. Sit down. I got my 5 more minutes. So it is tonight as we on the brink of entering into 2012. Before we can start talking about the blessings of tomorrow, we got to get us together today. I wish I was in the right church. Hallelujah. Paul says to them that the wisdom, knowledge, and ability of man is limited. Man is limited by time and space. Paul said, but God has some things that are prepared for those who love him. Things that are beyond the right now. Things that your eyes have not seen and your ears have not heard, and it haven't even entered into the heart of man. Can I preach while I'm here? Paul says, right now is temporary. Right now is born of time. Right now will last as long as time lasts. Right now is going to pass away with the passing of time. But God got some things which are in the eternal. Things that your eyes have not seen. Can I preach while I'm here? Things that your ears have not heard. Tell your neighbor in my later on. Look at your neighbor and say, don't confuse my right now with my later on. The difficulty of our time is you see me where I am right now. I can hear nobody. You see me in the right eye. But hold on, there is a little. Tell your neighbor, don't confuse my right now with my later on. Right now, I have heavy burdens. Right now, I have dark nights. Right now, I have difficult problems. Right now, I have large mountains. Right now, I have frustrating adversities. Right now, I have painful sorrows. But don't confuse my right now with my later on. Right now, I'm dealing with temptation, obstacle, intimidation, disappointments, mistakes, regrets. But don't confuse my right now with my later on. Right now, I'm broke. Right now, I'm disgusted. Right now, I'm lonely. Right now, I'm depressed. Right now, I'm dealing with jealousy. Right now, I'm dealing with wickedness. Right now, I'm dealing with dishonesty. Right now, I'm dealing with selfishness. But don't confuse